The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. resumes his face-to-face activities as the country's chief executive, starting with swearing in Manuel Antonio Teehankee as envoy to the World Trade Organization. The event was held in Malacanang Study Room. Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez, Special Assistant Antonio Lagdameo Jr., and Presidential Management Staff Secretary Maria Zenaida Angping were also present. Teehankee held the same position under the Arroyo and Duterte administrations. Meanwhile, the Commission on Human Rights maintains the U.S. is well within its rights to limit their aid to the PNP. Recall that yesterday, one U.S. lawmaker introduced an amendment to the U.S. Defense Authorization Act. The proposed amendment will block the U.S.'s financial aid to the PNP, citing human rights violations. For their part, the Commission on Human Rights said in a statement that the U.S. has the power to withhold aid to states which is deemed to have run afoul of international law. They add that they will continue to monitor and protect human rights in the country. More people are now lining up to get vaccinated against COVID-19 as cases rise before the return to in-person classes. JC Cosigo with the details.
Long lines welcomed COVID-19 vaccinees at the Mandaluyong City Hall on Friday. Catherine, for one, decided to have her 15-year-old daughter inoculated in preparation for face-to-face classes.
Hindi na po natin maiwasan yung mga distancing sa school. Wala na po, hindi natin makokontrol yung mga bata sa ganong ano. Kaya mas maigi na rin na pabakunan para protection na lang din po nila yun.
Jolita, on the other hand, just received her first booster shot. Apart from it being a work requirement, she decided to get boosted due to increasing COVID-19 infections.
Para po iwas na lang po sa hawa-hawa para po magtibay yung immune system ko.
The Mandaluyong City LGU said the rise in cases and the impending return to in-person classes are driving the increase in vaccinees.
Gusto din nila na mas safe sa kanila. If they're bringing their kids to school, they would rather that they're protected.
As of July 13, over 71 million people have been fully vaccinated in the country, but only around 15.5 million have been boosted. Former NTF advisor Dr. Ted Herbosa underscored the need to ramp up booster vaccination against Omicron subvariants.
The BA5 has what we call immune escape. Now, sometimes even if you're fully vaccinated, and you're not updated, the vaccines are not updated, you can still catch the Omicron subvariant.
So far, the country has 293 cases of the BA.5 subvariant. But infectious disease expert Dr. Ron Chinsulante noted that most are just mild.
In fact, in most countries, na nadaanan na nito US, South Africa, India, it did not cause hospitalization. So their hospitalization rate was stable.
From July 8 to 14, the Philippines logged over 12,200 COVID-19 infections, or an average of around 1,700 cases daily. That's 40% higher compared to the week prior, with only more than 1,200 average daily infections. The country's national weekly positivity rate is also up at 10.6%, well above the international threshold of 5%. Despite the increase in cases, the Philippines remains to be at low risk for COVID-19, as hospitalizations remain low. For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
And we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Philippine Statistics Authority is asking for the public's patience and understanding as they find ways to speed up the printing of national IDs. Greg Gregorio with the report.
Ana is a fish vendor in Kamuning Market. As such, she can't afford to take even a day off just to process her national ID registration. That's why it was good news for her when a satellite registration site was opened at the Kamuning Barangay Hall in Quezon City.
Kasi po malayo at saka isa pa wala kaming time dahil sa pagtitinda namin. Pero katulad nga nito, laking pasalamat namin at napapunta na rito.
She explained that having a national ID would be a big help for her since she lost all of her other government-issued IDs like SSS and Voters ID. The creation of a national ID for every Filipino citizen and any foreigner residing in the country was established under the Republic Act 11055. According to the World Bank, having a working national ID system would help streamline the distribution of aids, especially amid the pandemic.
Globally, countries that had a national ID, registry, and digital payment mechanisms were able to deliver assistance quickly during the pandemic. When the pandemic hit the Philippines, there was no immediate mechanism to identify and verify vulnerable households. The national ID was not operational yet.
The Philippine Statistics Authority handles the national ID system, along with the help of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and other agencies. Their target is to register 92 million Filipinos by the end of this year. As of July 8, about 69.6 million Filipinos have registered so far, but only 13.9 million cards have been delivered. The Commission on Audit recently flagged the delay. BSP's Banknotes and Securities Printing Department explained that the failure to achieve the target production is due to the impact of the pandemic, while the logistics of this year's production and printing have been affected by many factors, including shortage in manpower. According to Undersecretary Claire Denise Mapa, National Statistician and Civil Registrar General of the Philippine Statistics Authority, the PSA and BSP are now discussing solutions to accelerate the printing of the national IDs. And as an augmentation strategy, they will be piloting digital national IDs this quarter. President Bongbong Marcos also met with the NEDA about the matter as he wants to utilize the national ID system by early next year. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 1:30 in the afternoon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.